Ladies and gentlemen, I'd have to be honest with you. I like to talk to you about great things, great possibilities, things that can occur that have not, hopes to inspire, to create desire, burning, so that a flame would start and have a wonderful fire of seeking to become what we can be rather than just remaining where we've come. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, and there's pain going on, and there's a lot of other things going on trying to deal with that pain. And I stand before you, I'm not one of the best educated. I only have a bachelor's degree in social science. I've only lived over 70 years. And I've had quite an experience. But the most magnificent experience that I've had, my friends, is receiving the blessings of miracles in my life. Miracles that qualifies me to say that in judging between a power that I could not see but saw the evidence thereof against the powers that I do see, they are not even in the same room. And so this is why I spend most of my time talking to you, ladies and gentlemen, about whatever the problems are. I keep talking to you about God. And no, I'm not talking to you about the God that preachers preach to you about. I don't even know if I'm talking to you about the God in the book. I say that because I've watched people all my life talk about the God in the book. They present the God in the book as being an okay God, but I never see them practicing. For instance, most recently in America, we've had people who have been taught right and wrong, lying and cheating wrong, hatred wrong. We've been taught these things all across the board. And then there's a man came on the scene that didn't represent what the book was teaching. He represented the opposite. The lies, the cheating, the doing whatever you have to do to get what you want and willing to do it. And it's like all of a sudden, a great number of those who call themselves Christians decided to follow this one because he could give them what they wanted. What they needed was power and control to manipulate others. And the system, even in its laws, is sort of designed to prevent that from being so obviously done. They still do it, but not to make it obvious. But these others want to do it obvious. And so all of a sudden, those who had been talking about God and church and all that kind of stuff jumped on the bandwagon with the one who said, I alone can do it. But he didn't do it. And they called angels from all walks of life and all the parts of the earth, but specifically from Africa, where we come from, I think, calling to come here and help this white man, this racist, help him win this election so that they could dominate and control their power, the kind of power that says it's okay to lie, that says it's okay to cheat. That's what they just did. That says it's okay to steal. Let's say as long, whatever it takes to get what you want. This is what they just backed. They just backed it. And after they prophecy and stuff didn't work, they still went back up in the building, started changing the dates about when this God that they were talking about was going to come through. Now, so I'm not sure that I'm talking about that God. I'm talking about a God that loves everybody. but is not playing games with anyone or anybody. Have put us on this earth and given us all kind of power. The power to create. You and I, all of us on this earth, have the power put together to create heaven, which is the best that we could possibly create, or create hell to whatever degree, even to the worst that we could possibly create. That power is in our hands. Not only, he gave each of us choice. Choice. And with our choice and our experience, we should learn which way do we want to walk. Do we want to walk according to a way that creates peace and prosperity and freedom? Or do we want to walk according to a way that creates pain and suffering and poverty and crime and violence and haves and have-nots? Do we want to walk that way? That choice is ours. Now, I'm sure when God gave us the choice, didn't take away what God preferred. What the hope is, like any parent, that the things that I taught you, you would remember it and follow it. So that means if we came into a world that only sin was running, then we would stand against sin, even if it meant the same day we came into the world, we were sent out of this world. We wouldn't stay in this world in the midst of sin just to be here, just to be alive, just to walk according to the dictates of this which we say is evil and wrong. No. So I'm actually saying that it is God's pleasure that anybody who wakes up and stands up for truth, and stands up for what's right and what's wrong, knowing that it means possibly that you finna die. God glory in that. Why? Because here is one that's ready to be born again. Here is one that's ready to leave this hellhole and be born into the blessings of life. God is thrilled. And what is the purpose here? The purpose here is to draw attention to the ugliness of this world. And if you're blessed like you are now, you get a chance to see somebody to tell you what role you are playing in this ugliness. We'd say that Trumpers and those guys are doing some ugly things, and they are. And you say you're doing some better things, and you are trying to. But there are other things. I mean, when you put it together, both of you, all of us, put together are failing mankind. So I come to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that I don't know what these other people we talk about. When I tell you about God, I refer to the God of the book because I was raised up in the church and I was into that Bible. I saw the Bible giving a message that the human race, all the people that were talking about loving God, were not following. They were playing games all along. Now, I admit that by being a part of the church, they didn't go crazy. You know, go out in the world and just go crazy or just sinning and go stone crazy. No, they had some little restrictions. Well, we're Christians, so we don't do this, we don't do that. So a lot of them try to start stuff like that. Didn't make them any better. They were still sinners just like everybody else. But they didn't cause those big problems. But they didn't make anything better. So, the point of it is that this, I guess we kind of did some good because this hell that we're in, we could have been here a long time ago if there weren't some kind of restraints. Now those restraints have been removed. The Democrats are trying to, and the rest of the people are trying to hold on to them. But let me just say this, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm wasting time speaking this stuff over and over again to you. But let me just say this to you. As a man, as one who says that I have a relationship with God that I've never seen, but have all the special evidence, miracles, I want you to know that I don't know what God is. So I refer to God as spirit and power. And when I talk to you about what God has taught me. You know, I don't spend my time talking too much, even though I've studied. I don't spend my time talking about what God taught Abraham. Now, every now and then, maybe in some occasion, I might refer to something like that, but I don't spend my time talking about that because that's hearsay. I'd rather talk to you about I have a relationship with God and I know what I'm talking about. So when I'm saying that if you want peace on earth or in America, there has got to be some justice. Now, according to God, if there is no justice, there will be no peace. There should not be any peace. The two don't go together. No justice and peace, they don't go together. No, justice and peace goes together. Now, that means if it appears to be peace going on, and there's pain and suffering and crime and violence going on, that means that the people are living in bondage. They are being forced to accept, and probably so long now it's normalized, just accepting what now appears to be normal. And that appears to be the way the world operates. But I want you to know that it was made, and you have the power to make sure that not one single human being on the face of the earth ever suffer from food, clothing, or shelter. Now, let me tell you what God did. All of the materials necessary to make sure that people eat, to make sure that people are housed, all of the materials and experience necessary for that, the power that you can't see has already provided it. Now, the rest is up to we the people. Do we have the will to do that? Now, what I mean by will, each of us got skills necessary and essential as far as carrying forward these divine things. It gives us our greatest joy. The skills that we have, our individual skills, they vary, there are many. But when we use them to create a good that benefits all of us, and you know what that means? That means that every time you are doing something, creating something to benefit everybody, somebody else is doing something to create, to benefit everybody. I mean, you're just showering gifts, blessings, just coming up with creative things, coming up with all kinds of stuff that these free minds are able to conjure up. And you alone could never have imagined these kinds of things. But now it's being imagined and made manifest, and the world is open to you. And you are doing no lying, you're doing no cheating, you're doing no stealing. You don't have any reason to hate. There is no reason to be a racist or be a bigot. There's no reason to be poor or stand for violence and war. None of that stuff. None of that stuff. And you know what? There's justice. Nobody's suffering for anything. That's the power of God's way. That's the choice that we have before us to make. We can make that choice. We can make the choice that says no. We got systems and policies that comes up that allows this kind of thing to work, and it's not sufficient enough for everybody. Then we got the power to say, well, we got to fix that. It's got to work. Over here, same thing. This doesn't work, we got to fix that. It has to work. That means that the things are working for the people. The people are not going to suffer because the things come up short. No, ain't nothing coming up short around here. Why? Because we are the people. We create the measures. And where is our source? It's coming from God. We're not worrying about something running out. No, that's not our worry. Something running out? Baby, if something run out, who allowed it to run out? The same one who put it here. And so if it's gone and that's something essential, that's something that's necessary, don't you know that progress is being made? Because that power has given us something more miraculous. Or maybe something that we already had, but we didn't know how to use it. And now we have discovered a usage that makes it like using water for gasoline, or for the purpose that we use gasoline for. Now, wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't be polluting the air or anything. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so very much. I'm going off on a whim. So I'm not going to put you through that. I have a wonderful time sharing with you up to this point, and I want to thank you for bearing with me. And until next time, this is Eddie Marcus saying goodbye.